to Rezocast episode 69. This is Lego, and I've got with me
Wait, what episode?
Nana, and this week our special guest from Resolute. We've got Rally Bubba. Thanks for joining us, man. How's it going, Rally?
Good. It's going good.
Going
good. All right, I'm done. Can I go home now?
My wife just came into the room and said we're on Rezocast 69.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, honey, we are.
We are. Yeah, that's why Rally's on.
It's true. We did invite Rally out for this specific episode. So Rally, how's your week been going, man? What's been going on with you this week, gaming wise?
Not much. I got to play some Destiny again with Davis, which I haven't done in a few weeks because he's been playing extremely late at night on my time, seeing that he's on the West Coast, and that was kind of fun because we haven't played in a while. However, we ran into some issues with the looting, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, the faction looting.
I heard he was avoiding you. That's why he was playing so late.
It is.
Okay.
Actually, is from his response to me, his kids have been staying up later and later at night, so till he can get online, it's fairly late. Last night, in fact, he texted me at like 1:30 in the morning my time last night. I was like, I'm in bed, dude.
I'm old. I have to go to bed.
I don't have time for that.
Right. Some of us have
to go
and have to go to work before, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's actually like my week has been a lot of like not being able to game that much just because I have had to go to sleep and like have had to like just I've been traveling a bunch right now, and right now I'm in like a hotel trying to do this podcast, and it's insane trying to get
down
the
there
internet
building the Trump wall.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Lego's been contracted. He's actually helping build the wall. That's what he's doing.
That's what
No. I'm down here helping a university close to the border.
Build
What
a
do they
wall.
call them? Minutemen or whatever? The border patrols?
Hove, how's your week going, man?
It was really, really good until like the last half hour when my PlayStation decided it was going to update and then just stop working, and I also feel like I might die. But before that, it was a really good week. I had probably the most fun I've had playing Destiny in quite a long time, which coincided with probably the most fun stream I've had in a long time, now that I'm kind of trying to get back into it. Had a couple people stop in that had picked up my channel from the podcast, which was fun. So we had a nice, chat while we were playing and everything. So that was a lot of fun. And then the next day, I probably had the least fun I've ever had playing PvP. I literally was just swearing, this is so fucking stupid, I'm done, and I quit.
Yeah, we were there for that.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
Yeah, well, the rest of the people
we all
listening
played
were not,
together.
Triton.
Well, you know what?
So yeah, it's been a good week other than that. I mean, got some stuff in the mail that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Triton, how was your week?
It was
man?
a sex doll.
Well, can we skip me after that one? Can we just come back?
FYI.
I don't know if I really want to follow sex
I can't
doll,
wait
but-
to tell everyone it was a sex doll.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. It was not a
But
sex
no,
doll.
I had a good week.
It was two.
Oh gosh, I think I'm just. Man, how was your week?
It
We'll come
wasn't a
back to
whole
me.
doll. It was just a fleshlight.
Wait, why are you so uncomfortable? Was it your sex doll? He stole your sex doll.
Oh gosh.
He just went upstairs and grabbed it.
Oh, we're gonna bring
It's
that
fine
back.
now.
Okay. But no, it was a good week for me. I think the last I think last week I said that I was kind of in some interview process for work. So this week I was able to get offers for both of those. So that's always kind of an exciting thing to be able to maybe move on a little bit more in my career. So that was some good news there professionally, personally, and then gaming. Definitely got back into a little bit of Destiny and did some PvP with some friends, as Hove calls it, the worst time that he's had playing PvP. And honestly, it wasn't ideal.
Did you say PP?
It did sound like
It was his first time playing with the PP.
First time playing with the PP, so it was that was interesting. But no, we played Crucible for a while. I'm just gonna go with that. We played Crucible for a while, and it was at least cool playing with Lego and Hove. I think their podcast personalities are also come out during that, where Lego's like, I'm trying to give this a chance, and Hove was like, this is the worst fucking time I've ever had playing. So that was entertaining to be witness to, and then also I played a little bit Battlefront as usual. They just had a patch come out, so I was interested in testing those things out. So pretty good week in gaming. And how about you, Mana? Without the sex doll at your house, how was your weekend?
No PP play. No,
PP play.
I stole everyone's sex dolls.
No sex dolls. But I was just the same old gaming. I got around and finally finished the Call of Duty World War II campaign. which was actually pretty good. It was decently good. It was longer than I expected, and it was decent.
I agree. I enjoyed it. That was
and
good.
I jumped back on Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 to do the DLC campaign thing, which was it led up directly to The Last Jedi.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And copious amounts of Fortnite. And today, actually, it was the Fortnite update, which they all together just made the map better. They added a whole bunch of different things. Didn't play Destiny at all, though. It's a little awkward when you guys are talking about playing Destiny on a Destiny podcast and stuff like that.
Are you just noticing now? This week?
Yeah. I was sitting here. I'm just like, am I on a Destiny podcast? Oh, what did I sign up for? Actually, tomorrow I was just texting Evan not too long, Shiny Sir, not too long. I'm like, well, jump on D1 sometime just for the craps and giggles. Have some beers and just play some good.
A lot of people doing that.
I do actually want to. We used to do after we would do trials. Me, Lego, Wilson, Rally, any combination, whoever was playing, would jump on and do private matches of just no land and fusion. That's all you were allowed to use. So I kind of want to go back and do that at some point.
Yeah, I might be doing that tomorrow night sometime. Just to grab whoever wants in, drink some beers, and just play some D1. But beer, yeah. The alcohols.
Also, but man, you better get used to the whole, playing Destiny and talking about it, because not to jump ahead too much, but next week Lego and I are both not going to be here.
Yes.
That's good.
I actually was lurking in the DMs.
Oh no, you're supposed to be there. You don't have to lurk.
I was just like, oh crap, they mentioned me doing something.
Oh,
so was it just Triton and I vote Triton take over. He's been here longer, so.
I totally believe Triton can monologue a whole episode. I have no doubt.
Yeah, but we want it to be about at least video games.
I know. Well, but before we jump ahead to anything else, I did want to jump on what Hove was saying a second ago about how you had the best time, but also the worst time. Because I remember when we were playing with Triton, I did ask you, I was like, what is the reason you had the worst time? And I'd like you to explain to us, how did you have the best time in Destiny and then just the worst?
Because it was fun and then it fucking sucked.
I was about to just say that.
You sound like all of Twitter right now.
Well, the day before, like I said, part of it was the fact that I had probably the longest stream I've had in a long time. There was a lot of good discussion. It was a lot of fun, and I was doing PvE and just kind of chilling. And then even though I've been able to, enjoy PvP with some friends, I don't know. It was just fucking terrible. I had no fun. I know the whole team shut thing and everything, but literally, every team we played, they were just standing all together.
They were.
Go around the corner, and all of them were literally just touching each other, and it was just no fun, and I hated it, and I started yelling and swearing, and then I quit.
Yes.
What was difficult for me, I think, about that game is I was so used to mayhem and having my abilities up all the time, not having those and not knowing to do, and I came against a group of people. It was it's so frustrating, so that's the only
used
thing.
To mayhem and being powerful.
And you kept stealing my power.
Now you're back to being immortal, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to wait for my abilities to come back up now.
I actually don't feel like a guardian sometimes.
Yeah, I think that Lego, you hit it there with saying that, you talked about it when we had Mayhem, and you could go off on your own a little bit in Mayhem, and you could have that success. You could feel like D1. When we tried doing that, if you tried going alone at all in the games that we were playing, that was just not an option. And I think just the amount of people that were using NEOD exclusively, it was every team, it was all four. You could not go anywhere without hearing that thing. And it wasn't, I guess, ideal. I still have fun. I don't get to play with you guys a lot, but it was not the best experience. That's how I would describe it.
Not the best.
I had played some solo the day before to do Call to Arms, and it was fine. And then I don't know, just maybe it was the company I was with.
Oh wow. Well, they also
Maybe
did
the
the invis. It was they all went invis, right? They all did invis.
Oh, yeah.
They all a couple of the guys would do the crouch shoot the whole time. That's just maybe not that fun to go against. So I think that I would say that definitely contributed to it. It was not. I didn't really like playing that every game for me.
I don't know, because even the kind of things like that people would complain about through D1, D2, even like something like the Nova Bomb glitch, my opinion is always like whatever, like they're gonna do it, just deal with it. And for some reason, just everything pissed me off. Everything.
It's just one of those days.
It made
Then
me
you
One of those
I
days.
was
Then you
just
talk
so
about it, Dave.
angry.
We have a lot more complaining to get to later, not just because we're talking about Rally and how he's doing, because I know we'll get to some complaining there. but
It wasn't even me. This wasn't even me this time.
with the faction rally and stuff like that.
Hey,
But
Lego.
before all of that, I kind of want to talk about these things that you may have noticed. I like
Is
we
mine
might
hanging
have done it. Yeah, we might have done it at the end of the podcast, but I feel like it's relevant right now because no doubt you've noticed
Oh, God,
these
I hate
wild.
you so much.
No, I'm just kidding. But for real, we are now sponsored by Blue Microphones, and we're very happy to be with them. What that means for you guys is we'll be doing some free giveaways, some microphones, some headphones here and there. So stay tuned for more of that. We're really, really excited to be with Blue, and they really have given us some. Mana just put on his blue beanie.
I'm so pumped for this. You have no idea. I opened up the package. It was like, he did it.
I secretly got Mana a blue beanie without him knowing. It was awesome. I wasn't sure if it would
I was joking about it with you guys. I'm like, you think they'd be offended if I just asked for a little bit more?
Yeah.
Like,
My wife is in chat right now for one of the first times. I'm like a little nervous because of it, but she just asked Cove. She was like, "Is Benedict Cumberbatch spam or something?"
I
was
don't
looking-
see that.
I don't either.
Oh, maybe it is spam.
But anyway,
but
yeah. So
anyway,
I'm pumped. I'm excited. We got some cool stuff. They hooked us up with some swag. I hate that word. I don't know why I said it.
I don't like it either.
I feel like you say that all the time.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So once we get everything, we just got this stuff in the last couple days. But once we get everything settled in and worked out, we'll be doing probably about monthly or so giveaway, and also we'll have a nice discount code for anything you'd like to buy from
Yes.
Blue for 20% off once that comes about.
big percentage.
Yes. Yeah, and that'll come soon. We don't have the discount code yet, but we'll let you know when it's working. So before we jump into the faction rally and everything, let's talk to the rally we do have here. I like we've gotten to know Rally before on previous episodes, but I just want to see where you're at with D2 Rally. How has it been treating you from launch till now?
I actually like it from a PvE perspective a ton. I tend to play a ton of it like that. Like, I honestly hate PvP. I haven't played it since the first month, most likely. I did a little bit of mayhem. It was okay. I see what you're saying with you start feeling kind of like the old D1 a little bit, but
Yeah.
it just still wasn't the same. Like I was, I hate to say it, I relied on grenades quite a bit. So it kind of sucks that I can't
like
use them as
nothing
much.
manacles.
Yeah, like nothing manacles.
Oh,
I loved me some scatter grenades, and they suck now. So it kind of defeats the purpose of running scatter grenades. I'm not even sure what grenades to run on a warlock now. It kind of is a little frustrating. But as far as the PvE goes, though, I love it. Realistically, though, I haven't run the raid. I've never finished it. I've never did the new raid layer. All things I probably should do at some point, but I still just go and run around the worlds like for hours.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I don't play it as nearly as much as I have. It's kind of sad, but it's still not horrible. I mean, if they do some of the things they've been talking about, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But no, I'm willing to sit back and wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Nice. Do you feel, I was curious, since you play more PvE, do you feel that lack of, a lot of people are saying they wish they did have special ammo and heavy ammo and those different things to go to in PvE. Do you feel that at all? Or do you like the way it's set up in PvE?
I don't mind that. I will say sometimes some of the bosses seem to be bullet sponges, so it would be nice to have heavy ammo synth possibly, but outside of that, I don't mind it. I do miss having a fusion as a secondary as opposed to heavy, so that kind of is something that's a little frustrating. But I mean, I don't dislike the two primary setup. I think it's an interesting idea. I just wish there was maybe a fourth slot or something, which I think is something you guys talked about at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I want 5
So-
slots.
5 slots,
Mhm.
one for an extra emote.
Yes.
Is he pointing to his
Well,
vendor?
My
Wheel.
mic's messed
How about
up.
an emote wheel?
Oh, rip Lego. But yeah, I mean, I think we kind of all agree with you that, you know, it's still fun. There's still a lot of cool stuff to do, but it isn't the same. Like, we can't, it's not something you want to keep doing for hours on end like we used to. And that's a little
Yeah, I don't
sad.
get that come home from work and want to jump right on like I did before, you know? Like, I'd come home from work, I'd go to the gym, make some dinner, and then I'd be like, all right, honey, I'm going to go play Destiny with everybody for hours on end. And that doesn't happen anymore.
The one thing I've been realizing that I've seen some talk on Twitter, and I guess I kind of thought this before, because I mentioned, I think just last week, that as much as it sucks that we were expecting it to be more grindy and addicting like D1, that it kind of works right now with all the games that are out, that you don't have to play as much.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, that really kind of hit home for me, the whole, like, you get home and you feel like you had to go play. Like, it was legitimately, like, kind of an addiction. Like, I need to get this done. Like, when do I have time
Yeah,
to
it's
do
probably
this?
a good thing not to have that as an addiction, but
Yeah, can I squeeze this hour in and get this done in between work and school or you know, whatever it may be.
Right.
And
right.
you know, while that, believe me, this isn't me defending any of the issues by any means, but the end product of that being that you don't feel like you always have to play, I don't think on its own is necessarily a bad thing.
It's kind of giving me like, you know, I've been playing everything but Destiny. I feel like it's giving me a chance to catch up on all these games. Given Fortnite is really an addiction right now, though, for me, though. I'm trying to actually tone down on the Fortnite so I can go back to the single player games I bought.
I know
like,
an easy way for you
a
to tone
bunch
down
of
on
them.
Fortnite.
Like
Don't say
with
PUBG.
us.
Come play PUBG with us.
I knew it. I knew it.
Fortnite's okay, but all the jumping around is annoying.
I see that. I go into PUBG, like, you know, in Fortnite you find battles quicker, and then you go into PUBG and it's more tactical and slow. I'm just like, oh, this is so different. You know, I don't know. It's weird. But yo, what he was saying, like what Hope was saying, it's like it gives me a chance to catch up on everything I've been missing out on. You know, and there has been a lot of games that's been coming out recently.
Yeah. It is interesting that the flip that it's had for us, because for other people, I have a friend who just started playing just the other day, and he texted me today saying, oh, I just had this awesome match in Crucible. Like, we need to get better together and play. I need help doing the raid for the first time. And I'm like, whoa, like this guy's like really into Destiny. And I wasn't sure whether he'd get on board. Like, he'd never played D1. And he just got on board D2 for the first time. I'm not even sure if he has the expansion. He's just playing through the story and the faction rally that's available to him now and stuff. And he's like loving it. Like, he's asking me all these questions like, what is, you know, the Sunbreaker's next class that you unlock and all this stuff. So it's just interesting seeing it from other perspectives than just the perspective we have of we've played the game literally all the time and have done everything there is to do. So, but I guess, you know, we've had plenty of conversations about that, about who Destiny or who Bungie made this game for and everything. So,
Well, Lego, you mentioned kind of two things with that. For me, I've kind of brought this up a little bit with burnout to some degree, but I mean, we are doing the same thing. So for Destiny 1 players, it's a Nightfall, maybe it's a little different. It's a Strike, maybe there's some different mods. So the excitement that you're seeing that, and I, you know, I've mentioned before that I have someone, you know, that was kind of my college roommate's been staying with us for a little bit while he finds a job and gets back on his feet a little bit. Those are all new, exciting things for him. But when you're taking that time off and not doing that, like someone asked me the other day, like, oh man, you made so many friends playing Destiny 1. How many people have you met playing Destiny 2? That would be almost no one. Like, I've not really met anyone or kind of fostered those community relationships in Destiny 2. And that's what kept me coming back in Destiny 1 a lot of times. It was chasing something, but chasing something with somebody that also was trying to do the same thing. When I come on to Destiny 2, I know there's like 4 or 5 things I got to do. I know the most efficient ways to do them. I don't have to do them with somebody, and then I'm out. In Destiny 1, you were able to kind of be on enough to develop those relationships. And let's be honest, I mean, when we got the end of Destiny 1, all of us were like, it's the community. I made so many friendships here. I mean, heck, you know, our entire podcast is developed out of the fact that we're all friends in this clan through Destiny 1. So that element's missing a little bit in Destiny 2. And I think that's so it's easy to see why someone like your friend and my friend can be excited where we're kind of like, yeah, we're doing other things a little bit.
Look at you.
I know. I'm with you, though. I do feel that lack of playing all the time, particularly one game with the community. It kind of feels like that community is spread out between several games right now.
A whole bunch of different games right now. Let's just look at Resolute. We're everywhere right now. It's crazy.
Well, I think it's about that time we jump into what's going on in the world of Destiny with the faction rallies. And there's a lot of chatter about, you know, the lack of new weapons and the way that the lost sectors have been treated and kind of nerfed, if you will. What's y'all's take on everything? And we can kind of jump into, after we talk about it, we can jump into some of Bungie's changes in the TWAB maybe.
Who's going first?
You're
it's all rally.
All right. So, you know, the faction rally thing with the loot, the lost sector stuff and the loot in them. It's kind of funny how that was something they snuck in there and didn't kind of communicate it really. And then it's supposed to keep you from.
Before
you know,
we get
I'm not
into
cheating.
what we think of it, can we maybe tell people what we're talking about?
What, faction rally and
with like the loot.
What happened?
Yeah. Like what is actually going on?
Yeah. So what happened is a lot of people thought we would get all new weapons with the faction rally, and really there's just
season 2 actually.
Yeah. Really there's just one new weapon that has come with this faction rally. There'll be more later, basically, but for this one we only get one, and it's not in the engrams. It's just at the very end of the event. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than people tend to forget there's also ship shaders. There's a new shader, ship, sparrow, and ghost as well that's been thrown in, and that's actually in the engram you get.
Well, I think also another thing that has had people upset is the like time limit cap on looting lost sectors and such.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of going.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So pretty much there's a, what is it? You can do 2, and then there's a 10-minute like cooldown.
I think if you do them within a certain amount of time, then that 10-minute cooldown kicks in.
Right, but so and then like lost sectors for 10 minutes won't provide you with any rewards, which the way I first kind of read that was, you know, it was 2 over 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So like if you did one and did one 5 minutes later, you had 5 minutes until that first one like cooled down. So my plan, I was like, yeah, this is kind of stupid, but you know, whatever. My thought was I kind of ran in, I did, you know, whatever I saw, a lost sector, and then, oh, look, there's a public event about to happen. Oh, I can go turn in stuff to Devrin. Oh, let me go do another public event or another lost sector, and kind of just running around in between. And I did that, and then I went to do the third one, and I didn't get any rewards. And it had definitely been more than 10 minutes, you know, spaced out between the 3, and that's what I thought. But when it's 2 and then 10 minutes, like no matter what, that was kind of like, I was just trying to casually run around, and if I ran by a lost sector, I did it. And I still hit that cap in the first, like, 15 minutes. So that's a little ridiculous, I think.
Yeah.
I get what they're going for, but that was way too harsh. Even if you just cut that same thing down to 5 minutes, I think you're in a better position, but...
Yeah. For me, I feel like, you know, it does suck that it has been implemented in that way, but at the same time, I would rather have it a little more nerfed and a little more restrictive rather than doing the farming pool, which I know and what I'm talking about is just jumping into the same lost sector over and over again within like 5 seconds. But I know a lot of people will disagree with me and be like, well, there's an article even on some website, I forgot who it was, but they were like, just let people do what they want. If they want to play the game that way, that's fine. And I'm like, I don't know, like you have more people doing public events or more people doing strikes or Crucible if you don't have them just doing the lost sector thing every 5 seconds. And so I think that that's better for the community for not everybody to be doing that. Do I think they went too far? Yeah, sure. But for what it is, I'm not upset about it. I just give my feedback and it'll be better next time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Riley.
My thought on it is, like, instead of locking it down, just make it so that you can't do that same lost sector again until you do another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's, to me, that's the easiest way to fix that. Like, you don't have to lock people down with a cooldown. Like, maybe the programming and the coding for that's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, that's my thought.
But you're putting this lock in that is kind of restricting people, and and for extremely casually playing, Davis and I ran into that once, and I actually think we ran into it on a public event. We were doing them pretty quickly, and at one point I thought we weren't getting loot, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I wasn't paying attention at the time to really realize whether that actually was the case or not. But it did. I know that Davis brought it up and said, "Hey, I don't think I got any tokens for that," and I was like, I didn't really pay attention to see if I did or not, but
yeah.
If that's the case, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. And you're right. Like, yes, it's nice what Lego said to have people doing other things. You're not basically cheesing the system. But if people really want to do that, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have an issue with it. But it's like anything else. There's a lot of things that people do that just are stupid. Like, yeah, I mean, I do stupid shit every day. So.
Yes, you do.
So I'm not really sure. I don't know how I feel. I'm a little torn on the way they handled it, and the lack of communication about it is probably the thing that really sucks. But that seems to be the MO, even though they are being a lot more open now than they have been in the past. But
yeah,
I think I'm more in the camp, obviously it's up to Bungie to decide to a degree how we should play the game. I mean, it is their vision and they try to take in our feedback. But for like a non-competitive game, I guess I'm pretty neutral on the fact that, like, if people want to run around and do that farming method, then it is what it is. I happen to be in one of the better party chats I've had in D2 while doing that, because guess what? There was like 4 or 5 people online and they wanted to chat. And we did this mindless thing and they talked about it. So I don't know. Would I've rather done other things, but to your point, like, they would be doing other things. Like, I don't know if that's true, because I knew a couple people that got on specifically to do that because they didn't have a lot of time and that's what they wanted to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's like, just because you have a lot of time that you should cheese the system or whatever it is, but they weren't going to spend the hour they had doing a strike or an hour they had doing Crucible. So I do think it's a little bit of an overcorrection. It's obviously an identification of an issue. But to Ho's point, me and Hove discussed this a little bit in our DMs. I just wonder, like, did anybody go out and just play the game for like 20 or 30 minutes, just thinking like, oh, this is what we would want you to do, and then realize like, oh crap, just naturally playing this game, I can't locked out, right? Yeah, I can't get locked out. What happened to me. It seems like a very easy task to just say, how do we want people, right? It's up to them. How do we want people to experience lost sectors and achieve these things, and then actually like do it? I don't, and in that way, I think that it just confuses me, because it seems like that's just a 30-minute test of sorts. But at the same time, can appreciate maybe you don't have time to test it. I don't know. But that, for Hope to naturally run into that
seems to be some of the case where they're in a scramble now to try and fix a lot of things, and they're probably pushing stuff out that maybe not be, maybe it's not completely vetted, and you wonder what kind of issues that's going to bring up, and then you'll have the community basically firing back at you because you didn't do it to an extreme.
And I've brought up before,
there's no win.
I think they've been lacking in playtesting for a long time. I mentioned a few weeks ago.
Same.
There's some things that get through that are just ridiculous, and you're like, what? I sound like an idiot because I can't think of any, but I remember thinking to myself, like, this happened and this happened.
Well,
and these
the
are
Prometheus lens being that powerful compared to everything else. Is like,
well,
how
I think
did
they
that
said they knew that was going to happen, but they wanted to get it out, right?
Yeah, I do recall them maybe saying that.
I want to say
Prometheus lens, let everybody feel like gods for a few days until we figure out how to fix this.
But maybe we're talking about like the ARs or like the sidearm, whatever, like just being blatantly more powerful than everything else in their tiers. And it's just like, did anyone test these weapons? Like,
the glitches are the things that some of these glitches that come up, they seem to be fairly common. and
Yeah, but they're so
quickly
weird.
identified. They are weird. I will agree. There is some weirdness to them, and
Those aren't
you
ones
need
that
some
I can
you
really...
need some like 8-year-old kid in there just mashing buttons to find out what's going on. I
Yeah,
guess.
seriously, how do people even find something?
But if
I don't
it's
know, man.
in Destiny somewhere, the internet's gonna
Well,
Reddit's
that's the
gonna
thing. Everybody
They're
like,
gonna
oh, I'm
immediately
just
find it.
exposing it because I want it to get fixed. Bullshit. You're exposing it because you want everybody to exploit the crap out of it.
yeah.
I mean, I think
There-
back to host thing was the fact that, I mean, it's not like an exploit or a glitch or some of the things we mentioned. I think are oversights, or they're not really pushed out. But I mean, this was just something that naturally happened in like just the natural course of the game. Like I can't naturally play the game. That's a little, that's different in my opinion. I usually don't kind of chime in on those types of things that are like a glitch or a complete exploit. But when it interferes with the way that you actually naturally play the game, I think that's a pretty big one.
Here's one
Yeah.
thing.
I think this faction rally is you know how what the state of Destiny 2 is and all that. Like people are fleeing from it. It's hard for people to come back, and then they come out with this faction rally, and it might be overly punishing for people to get what they want. So they got to spend more time, longer.
Well, this was one of the
less
things that they
now.
were supposed to have held off and released after they did a little bit of fixing. So for it to have an issue right off the bat, I think is causing a lot of outrage.
Here's a couple things. One, I just want to go back because I did think of one. How many times have we had trials canceled or postponed or whatever because somebody found a way to get off the map? Like, you don't run around like you have,
I don't know who's going to
nobody
walk
runs around
backwards
the edges
doing
of the
a
maps or anything.
emo.
Like,
Well, yeah, but that was caused by an emo.
no,
and then
the
backing
one
into a wall.
altar flame or whatever, you just ran around to the
The
one
one where you,
spawn and you just
like,
ran
jumped
around
up.
outside. There's been a couple.
Right, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Right.
there's one where you like jumped up and over like something. You were like in this outside shooting down at people, I think, and they canceled that one.
Yeah, there's been a couple, but anyway, go into the faction rallies. I'm gonna throw a conspiracy theory. Okay?
Let's hear it.
So, two separate issues that came up were, one, them limiting your coins, right? And the
Yeah.
other one is that they didn't tell us there would only be the one new gun. So, if they let us get as many coins as we wanted, what would we be getting? The same shit
Every gun.
over and over again.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's limit what they can get strongly, and then maybe I don't want to say that they thought, well, maybe no one will notice there's no new guns, but it becomes a lot less prominent if people have like 1/10 the amount of packages they did last time, right?
I don't know. To me, the whole thing
Do they or
feels
don't they?
like no. The whole thing to me feels
What do you
like
know?
they always planned it to be
math.
this way, but it's been put back a little bit just because of getting all the players to play it instead of just people who bought the DLC. And I think my only hint of negativity from the whole thing at this point is from specifically with there not being new weapons, is that it got pushed back, and so it feels like a really long time since we had it and only got one weapon, and so it's like this extra dose of like disappointment after waiting. But that being said, I just don't care at this point because they just announced last week all these changes that they're working on, and I would rather them spend time working on those changes to make the game more fun and more rewarding than get some random new gun from New Monarchy. Like, that's the way I feel. It's like I would
personally
rather them spend their time doing
don't
that.
really care that much either. Like, it's stupid. It shouldn't have been done, but I don't really I'm not worked up about it. I just think that it's become such a big problem because of where we're at right now.
Right,
Like,
with all
if
the
this
other
just
problems.
happened on its own,
Yeah.
it does become a big deal. But I want you to explain to me how, if I was farming unlimited coins, I wouldn't be able to get more packages than I can right now. Because you just told me that's not a thing.
What did I
My
say?
question was, if you were
He's
able
just
to...
arguing with you.
I know. I don't even know what he's saying.
Forget it.
No,
I know what you're
there's
saying,
there's
though, actually,
validity in
what
what
you're
Hove's asking.
My point that I asked you, I said, if you were able to farm unlimited coins, would you not be able to get a shit ton more packages? And you said, no, I don't think so. And I was like,
No,
okay.
no. No, you should be able to.
You would be
Like,
able to,
if-
because
if
you'd
you
have more
could get-
coins.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. You just told me.
It's
You just
just-
told me that. Okay.
You would be getting the same stuff. That's what I was
Right.
trying to say.
mean, you would be getting just
Right.
a whole lot of the same,
Same
stuff,
stuff.
that you
Yeah,
could get.
I was trying to agree with you in that point. Is what I was saying.
Oh, because you literally said no, I don't think so.
It's opposite day, okay?
Yes,
Go
it's
along
opposite
with
day.
it.
Maybe you two just get a room. Oh wait, Lego's already got one.
I think, and this is something Rowley touched on when he said like this, you know, you delayed this a little bit too, and then this is your step forward. I do really agree with Lego. I mean, they just said that they're doing all these things, and the things that they're working on and they're building towards are things that do matter to me more. But obviously, they'll matter to people who are going to keep hanging on. And we've mentioned this a little bit before too. Like sometimes they're spending their goodwill that they have built up and their faith. If right after you announce that the first thing isn't great.
Is an issue,
Like, even
right.
if it's not the same, even if it's not attached to sixes and some of the other changes that are coming to you and bringing mayhem and, you know, bringing mayhem back into rotation, it still speaks to the sentiment of this just isn't right. So I am also very excited for the things that they're doing in the future and want to be a part of those things, but it's harder. You know, we're right here. The people that are on the fence right now, you know, faction rallies could have been a tip point. They just said all this stuff. Faction rallies wasn't great. I don't know about these other things now, right? I mean, they could be spending some of that goodwill as well. So I think it is important to just be as consistent as they can be. And again, with this one being an oversight, and while I agree with whether you farm a million things and get a bunch of the same crap, you know, you want to be able to play the game and naturally, you know, get some of these things. And I think that was the heart of the issue.
Yeah. One other thing I want to throw out as far as just enjoying the event is I am glad to have ships shaders, or that new shader for each of them, and sparrows and a ghost in there, because it's just some, like, with the infrequency that I'm playing the game right now, like you said, it's not like that obsessive, like I have to get these things, but it's like, oh, I have these things to go and get that aren't the same as last time. And even though it's not weapons, even though it's not weapons, there are like ornaments to go for, and there's the ghost and the ship and the shader and all that. And so I'm happy about all that.
Speaking of that, though, that's another thing that, whether intentional or not, I don't even care, looked really shitty. That they so harshly are limiting how many coins you can get, and then they're selling in Eververse a ghost that increases the coins you can get.
Oh, I
Really?
didn't notice that. That's kind of shitty.
An exotic ghost that increases your coin. I believe it, like, or tokens or whatever the fuck they're called.
It increases your chance.
It's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, that ghost is expensive too.
Oh, that's weird. So, hey, you can't get any of these coins, haha, but you can buy this ghost. It's like one last... I don't really think this is what it is, but it's like one last, like, let's see how many people we can get to buy it before we have to change
Money grab.
Eververse.
One last hurrah, just to see.
Oh my gosh. Well, do y'all want to jump to the TWAB?
Yeah, I think we're there a little bit.
Yeah, there's some stuff in here that's pretty good as far as what's coming. They address the nerf block sectors, first of all, saying that, you know, they're going to look into a way that every time, next time an event comes around,
I just gave them
that...
lockout one and then
Yeah,
move
but
on to another.
In all honesty, I know you're, like, being funny, but that one seems so obvious and like, would work so well that it has to be a coding thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It has to be something where it just is a lot more coding than what, you know, most rational people want to believe. You know, I can't believe I'm saying things like that.
But kudos to them for addressing that head on. In
Yeah.
a positive note. I always can tell when Lego's ready for us to be back on the positive train. So as a positive, hey guys,
I can't-
thanks for
I can't
You don't
give
have to
them
be
positive.
positive. I'm not.
We don't
Listen,
need it.
is it good that they addressed it? Yes. Did I
Well, they
even
had
think?
to.
Did I? Yeah, I was gonna say, am I even that upset about it? No. But am I gonna give them credit or kudos for addressing it? No. They had to.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And they said that basically they want you to feel rewarded every time you open a chest, and they're going to fix that to where you get something basically every time you get a chest. So whatever that means, whatever fix that is, we'll see. But we don't know yet. The other thing is they addressed messing up announcing there's no new armor. That's on them. They should have told us, hey, there's not, or new weapons, sorry, not new armor. But that, yeah, there's not going to be any new stuff other than the one thing that everybody's trying to win at the end of.
And the way they
the
explained
event.
it was a little weird. Like it was, you get it at the end, and then as the season progresses, they release more and more of the guns. Not sure what I think of that either, but I kind of get the thought process behind that with the fact that everybody had all the guns after the first faction rally. There were people that had everything. So just decrease the drop rate, maybe. I don't know. There's got to be a different way to handle that where you can still have the guns and people have something to look forward to as opposed to just that one gun. You know, like to me, there's no real incentive to go and grind away for one gun.
I don't know. You decrease the drop rate, and hey, Fitzy will be all up on you, man. So,
but this is an Iron Banner. It's a little different.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that whole thing. Other than like, I think it's fine. Like, I think if you like drip feed me a little bit of content while you're working on the really big stuff, that's fine. Like I said before, I don't really care, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I guess if it's like because they're trying to focus more on everything, they're trying to shell out, like Lego just said, just like give us a little something. And then everyone else is like, okay, that's there. Let's go, start rushing things out. I guess in that sense, then.
Yeah, but in that sense, it's great. But they're taking that one step forward and saying, hey, we've got this for you, but we're going to work on all this other important stuff. But hey, just so you know, we've also fucked up this. And now we're taking 2 steps back.
I guess. I don't know.
Here's something I want to ask you guys. And this is just a question. This isn't, my opinion. Do they... what do they have to say to us? Like, are they required to tell us, oh, hey, we're bringing this out, this week there's not going to be anything new? Like, why? What made everybody expect that there was going to be new stuff? And
I think it was season 2. Like, because it was season 2, there would be new stuff that comes with season 2.
But I mean, there is going to be new stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying this is how I feel. I'm just kind of putting that out there that, is it like every time something happens, if they don't say there isn't going to be new stuff, there has to be new stuff? Like, where, are the expectations off kilter here, do you think?
I mean, I feel like they are, but I've been in the vocal minority as far as not being upset. So, I don't know.
But Toho's pointed into yours as well, Lego, are those expectations, and those perceptions purely driven from the community, or are they kind of in some ways built into what we've gotten in the past as well? So I'm just curious, and it's more rhetorical than it is, me actually kind of posturing that, but I'm not sure if like the expectations of what people have are solely reside in the fact that, us as consumers, I think sometimes, they've not been that direct, and that's been their policy now. Is like, we're going to be 100% direct all the time. So I think it's got to be a little bit of combination of both.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think it was a curious thing to me, that not that I necessarily am on either side of this fence, but do we have to be told every single little thing? Like, things can happen that we don't have to know.
Yeah, the thing that makes me think about, like you mentioned, like, do you think that like we're just maybe potentially overreacting to not getting everything, or there's the mindset off kilter or anything like that? And what I think of is my friends who hardly play D2 anymore, but then they see some article on, like Polygon
Forbes had an article.
Yeah, Forbes. And it's like, Destiny screwed up big time, and they like aren't even playing the game, but they'll text me the article and be like, do you see this? Like, Destiny really screwed up. I'm like, have you played it though? Do you feel like they screwed up? They're just like listening to what other people say. And when I play the game, I just don't feel the way that all these articles feel. I'm just like, oh, some cool new stuff while they work on bigger stuff. That's cool.
It's kind of easy to jump on that hate train though. Especially, I think it's even easier when you showed so much passion for it in D1, and then were a part of the grouping that felt majorly like let down. Kind of like almost like me right now. It's just like, I haven't been playing it lately, but I jump on Twitter and see everyone raging about it. I get that sense, just like, oh, they did this and that, man, that really blows, But then you don't really put anything else together. You just think that. And it's just like, it's so easy to do that.
Yeah, because, it's one of those things that, I've used this not just with Destiny, but anything. Unless something is over the top, shockingly good, you don't go publicize your opinion about it. Like humans, like in general.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go on and go, God, I've been playing Destiny and I don't hate it. It's cool. Like, no, nobody does that. Like, if you go to McDonald's and you order a cheeseburger and out comes a cheeseburger You just eat it and go about your business. You don't go tell everybody that, hey, I got a cheeseburger and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I'm so excited. But if you order a cheeseburger and they give you a fucking 10-piece McNugget, you go up and you say, what the fuck? Does this look like a cheeseburger?
Right. There's a chicken head in here. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying,
Leg-sized
again,
chicken.
there's still lots of issues, but you're not going to hear people who aren't unhappy harping about how they're okay with everything.
I mean, that's a real good point, Hove, and I can't believe
Thank you.
I agree with you. But I think the same thing when I like review places for food. Like, I can't look at Yelp because everybody bitches about things like the food was great, but the service sucks, so they get a 1 star. Well, if the food was great, then you're reviewing it for a completely wrong reason. Like, you're making perfect sense with like, people don't review things 90% of the time with positive and good reviews. It's always when somebody has something to bitch about.
That's why there's no 3s on Amazon, right? I mean, you're either leaving a 5 if you work for the company, or you're leaving a 1. So I mean, that's just the way it is. I think to a degree, in as a part of a defense, like, it is the environment that we live in now, right? So I mean, that's going to be the expectation now. I mean, the environment is people are going to just group think this, they're going to jump on this. So you have to understand to some degree that that's the environment in which you're going to have to make, your communications and all of those things. But honestly, Bungie's been successful in the past, and even though I'm not like a Halo fanboy or anything that comes from that environment, they were in the past just kind of being able to surprise us and hold things close to the chest, and also kind of maybe have play on words in some of their communications, and those things were fine not that long ago. So now that they have to be in a situation where they have to constantly apologize, it's tough. I mean, it's certainly in terms of their communications, you can't vet an article enough and not have a couple people be upset. And I feel bad when you have to come out and see, like, it's on us not to say that. To Ho's point, should you always have to say that? Probably not. But within the environment that we have now and how people are just very skeptical about game developers and what they're doing and how far $60 should go, you may have to, unfortunately.
Yeah, the one thing I see a lot is everybody's like, look how quick Fortnite updates. Dude, it's one thing. It's one map. It's one game mode. Like, Destiny's gigantic. Thing. It's not even remotely the same. It's not going to happen in that kind of perspective. Like, that drives me crazy when I see all these people saying, oh, Fortnite can do this and Fortnite can do that. Well, come on. It's one game mode and it's one map. Like, and you got to be realistic.
Destiny is just so vast with how many different stats,
perks
guns,
and
maps,
abilities. I can't even fathom what Bungie and like devs go through.
Like the thought process to think
we can give them shit. We can want more, but honestly, just look at the freaking game.
And I want to go back to what Mana was saying too about how, like, there's like a degree of, we've been this passionate about it before, and so it's hard not to get caught up in everything. And I just wanted to go back on what I was saying and say, not that I am like, I don't care because I'm not passionate. Like, I really do care. It's just more like going back to Hove's analogy, like, we're talking about new armor or weapons for this one event that is like, it's like getting your fries a little more well done than not before, or something like that. Whereas, like, I want a brand new thing. Like, I want the spicy chicken sandwich rather than just a hamburger or something like that, like a brand new thing. And that's what they're working on. And so I don't really care so much about the smaller things right now when I know they're working on the really big thing. So I'm still passionate about that. And if they talk about those things, like, I'll get passionate about Rumble coming out or not coming out, which I was really sad about that it's not coming sooner, but I don't really care about 1 or 2 extra new weapons for the faction rally. It'd be nice, but I'm not, just wanted to explain that. And Hove has randomly left the building. So
he's definitely taking that poop break. Like, he's definitely taking the poop break. Kudos to Hove for going to the 53-minute mark before he actually had to poop, because he told us this as we were waiting to start the show. So,
dude, he like ran out.
When you listen to this later, Hove, we're applauding you. So
the speed at which he removed himself from this cast was impressive.
It was impressive.
It was like a blur on the screen behind me.
It's not just like he hated what I was saying. He had something else going on, I'm sure.
Maybe that's what triggered it. The anger proof eruption.
So the sandbox in the in the twat.
Yes, sandbox changes. Josh Hamrick came on to talk about the sandbox, several different things.
I'm interested in see what they will be. Like, that was a very general statement, but yeah, really. Really need to
Covered some
see
of the
that.
high level topics that they were working in, right? Mods was one. I think
We
balance.
just kind of glanced over it, basically. It was like a
There
hey,
were
working towards this, and that was kind of it.
like trying to say like John Wise News working on the exotic changes, like making them feel really good because there's obviously some that don't.
Some. Well, which one feels amazing?
I think there's some that feel really amazing. Like
Merciless might feel amazing. That's pretty awesome.
you got Merciless, the new grenade launcher that tracks people. You've got the
have that yet. That is kind of crazy. I did die to
the
that
Titan
one
auto
time.
rifle that's like a heavy machine gun. That one's pretty crazy.
I don't have that. That's cool.
So you don't have that? What?
That's sweet business. You mean?
Oh wait, no, I do
Sweet
have that. I
business,
probably
yeah.
just got rid of that really early.
Nah, you got to play with this. I need to play with it some more. Actually, that's what's going to convince me to play some more D2. The sweet business. Hove, did you take care of some sweet business?
I had something to do, and it's not what.
That's a little personal.
We all know that you
Christ.
took a poop break.
I was not taking. Jesus Christ.
Rowley said the speed in which you got up to get out of your seat was just definitely poop break.
Was that rage-inducing poop explosion?
No.
Like what we were talking
you
about?
just got mad at what I was saying. And
I got
laughed.
so many comments. I'm not even gonna go there.
But yeah, John Wisniewski working on the exotic changes. There was some vague references to them working on Balance Pass coming in season 3. Grant McKay working on Mods 2.0, and there's some keywords here that I wanted to talk about and point out. Mods 2.0 that will increase your abilities to an amount you can feel, and in turn increase your power. And then one last thing is they're going to talk about what else is coming, but they need more time for planning, time to implement, and on top of that, groundwork from previous changes. So that's kind of everything. The things that were the most interesting were the mods to me, but the things that were most lacking is overall sandbox changes. It was like, well, we're changing some things. We'll talk about it later. Like if there's one area of transparency that I want more of, it's in the sandbox, and it's the one area I don't get. Like it's like, no. Well,
Yeah, I'd rather that too. I'd rather know what they're going to change with that, and if you're going to bring in new PvE things, I'd like to be surprised with some of that instead. So yeah, I completely agree there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at least they mentioned it. I think. Fuck you guys.
Sub notification right there.
I think it was it was good that they just brought it up at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
And if they're not
notably
okay.
absent for the most part from the,
Yeah, it's true.
All they said then was season 3 will bring sandbox changes, which we kind of already knew. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely like to see at least, maybe not the fixes, maybe not the solutions, what they're going to do, but at least like, hey, we're looking at this being powerful, or we're looking at this not being powerful, or just something very vague, but like something.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
What did you all think about?
Go
Go ahead, Jordan.
I said I kind of go back to the last communication when we talked about, as things are farther out, they may not have as much clarity to it. So I don't want to like kind of pick and choose what I'd want them to or to not be transparent on. But if they don't really know, we know people will take them to task if those things don't happen. So if I agree, I would rather have gotten something there. But maybe if there isn't nothing, I kind of would rather get nothing than maybe get something that will hold them to in 2 or 3 months or something like that. So I'm more of the camp. I'm glad they touched on high level ideas. It'd have been cool to get a little bit more, but if they really are if that's really where they're at, then I think that's what it is. I'd rather not be told we'll do this and then be like, damn it, you didn't do this.
Yeah, if they're taking the time for planning and time to implement, and it's like big changes, or at least changes to make us feel more powerful, I'm cool with that. I guess we still gotta just trust, for a little while. And then, what they said about the mods 2.0, increase your abilities to an amount you can feel. And in turn, it's like increasing your power, like abilities. That's what Rally was talking about earlier with loving grenades in D1. It's like, maybe we'll get some more of that kind of stuff with mods. I just have no idea what it's going to be, but Bungie always does find a way to surprise us in the way that they implement things. So I hope they do that again with making us feel powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like Nothing Manacles to return. That's all I want.
Maybe that's what they're looking at, really.
Just that. I would love to have those back.
I want a Prometheus Lens playlist, laser tag playlist. Honestly, that was so much fun.
I just want a Mayhem playlist. Like, that was the most fun by far I've had in DT. It was so much fun. And we're getting it, I guess, later, they said. But later. Season 3. Well, that's it for that. I think we've got some community questions waiting for us, don't we, Hove?
Do we have to?
I think we do need to, because I think there's some important ones here for Rally. So
I want to go with important. That's not the word.
Funny,
I
you hear
use.
that? You hear that?
I'm looking.
She was in the room here. She'd come behind me and give you the finger, but
in
she's
the
not
what?
here.
In the room.
The room.
The room.
The room.
The room.
Hey, you leave my coal region speak alone.
I'm from like 2 hours away. All right. First question from a non-pig. Question for Triton. I was thinking about investing in cryptoid currencies. Should I go with Chupacabra bucks, Loch Ness nickels, or New Jersey Devil dollars?
Oh, no.
Thanks.
I didn't mean this one. You didn't have to read this question.
Well, I'm the podcast Twitter boss.
Well, I did put it in our chat as well. This is like my snafu and the handful of times that I'm actually on the Rezocast account and chose to reply. But
You know
I was
you
going
can
to go
delete tweets, right?
with Loss, Ness, Nichols. Well, I didn't want to like delete it because what if he saw it and then I just immediately reply on mine? I was like,
Yeah,
I'll just
that's what I do all the
leave
time.
it. Okay, well,
The tweet
I didn't know you were
for-
pulling Kevin Durant's, but
The tweet for Tinks's announcement, I messed up like 4 times. And she was so fast, she liked every one of them before I deleted it. So I DM'd her and was like, yeah, I messed that up like 6 times. She was like, I know, I do it all the time too. I was like, okay.
but I'm going to go with Lost Ness Nichols. It's just fun to say, and yeah. Even though that's a nickel among dollars, I like saying it, so.
Loch Ness parallelograms.
Parallelogram is such a good word. Say it. Come on. One time, everybody.
He did. He said it.
I just did.
Everybody
I
else.
said it.
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram. Come on, tell me that's not fun.
It doesn't sound real now. I just heard it too many times.
Yeah,
and I never hear that
me
word.
too.
I don't want to say it.
Just say it. You have to. One time.
so.
Parallelogram. See?
Just watch it.
See? It's all those L's.
Alright, I'm done.
Parallelogram.
What's the next subject? Lego.
Okay.
I'm not in charge. I don't know.
Next, I don't know, 17 or so questions are from Kelly, who is Rally's wife. And I don't use this term in the usual joking sense. She is definitely the better half. I have met them both in person. Kelly is much better than
I'm
Rally.
not going to lie.
All right, first question. What has been your favorite moment playing Destiny? Easy one for me. The Mom Whisperer with Fatebringer.
Fatebringer. Mom Whisperer.
Me is the best moment in his life.
Anybody else?
Was that Rally's answer to the second question?
I just said that was Hove lying.
Is anyone else going to answer the question, or am I moving on here?
I'll answer the question.
Yeah, I'll answer them too, but I'll let you guys
I've
go
done it.
first.
I think I've done this before in a different fashion, but my favorite moment, maybe we talked about funny moments, is still when before True Vanguard was in Resolute and we were in Dads of Destiny, we had a raid group together and we stayed up till like 2 a.m. to try to beat Coda runtime, and one of the wives came down and she was not happy. And she just, you could hear her, I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And this guy, Mr. Fixins froze, he's like, I just really like playing with these guys. And then she just went to bed. And that just made the night, even though we didn't get Crota done. I think.
But he had to fold the towels.
He did have to
to
fold the
towels.
dish towels.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he would fold the hand towels to make up for
Important
it.
part of the night.
Still my favorite moment.
I think mine changes like depending on what week you ask me, because there's so many good moments from D1, and I think from Destiny overall right now at this moment, it's that time that me and you, Hove, and I think it was Wilson,
Of course, I was
beat
there.
those like 5.0
Oh, yeah.
trials guys.
That
And
was
it's
a good
like
one.
we should not have won, like no chance. And there was this at the very last round of the game, I punched all 3 of them to death. Hove was in the background shooting too, but they were all on the zone, and I just went in and punched all of them with a striker titan and killed all of them. It was like impossible. Like I was screaming.
He did.
So yeah.
And it just so happens that was one of the like 4 times he ever streamed. And he like stood up and threw all his stuff, and it was crazy.
That's what I did in PUBG the other night too.
I know,
Whenever
I heard
won
it.
with the
I heard it.
VSS, and I threw up my hands and I
Yeah.
knocked my microphone, and my laptop went flying for a second. It was great.
Lego won a game with a VSS,
Nice.
and now I'm never going to hear the end of it.
No, you won't.
when we win
Finished
the
with a
crossbow
VSS.
challenge.
Last guy, 1v1, he killed him with a VSS.
Honestly, that's something to be proud of.
I had like 7 kills the whole game too, and had like 2 or 3 other kills with the VSS that game.
It was a damn good game, is what I'm hearing.
It was awesome.
So,
Okay, what's y'all's?
this question has to just that's
Everybody.
D1.
No,
D1
Destiny.
Or D2.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Mine has to be. It was when Trials. It was maybe like a month after Trials in D2, and I forget his name. He comes to my chat a lot, but I decided to do some Trials carries with him. I'm just like, why not? You know, it was me and him. I think we were doing 2 people. We were both helping one, and I think he's a younger guy, and his mother comes down and starts screaming at him. And I think he thought he muted himself.
Oh, you told me.
And
this.
they're just going back and forth, back and forth. He's like, I can't saw you. I'm doing this. I'm almost done. And you hear his mom, and I'm just like, should I mute him?
I think I was there.
I was like, should I mute him for the sake of just like, you know, like, and I'm just like, everyone's dying in chat. I was just about to mute him just for the sake of him not being embarrassed. And he comes back. He's like, okay, I'm back. I'm just like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. And he's like, wait, why are you asking if I'm okay? I'm like, what just happened? He's like, oh my God, you guys heard all of that? I was just like,
That's
dude,
amazing.
Like, dude, it's like, I was afraid for your life. That was so funny, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm so sorry that my chat just heard that. It was just too good.
Well, for me, I game wise and like overall wise are 2 different things. Like overall wise, and as corny as it sounds, it's I've got some good friends out of the game. So there are people I've met in real life. Unfortunately, one of them was Hove, but that's a whole different story.
I was just going to say, can you name a couple of those for me?
I've gotten some really good friends. I mean, I'm really good friends with Davis. Him and I are probably text multiple times a week, you know, multiple times a day sometimes. So
Yeah, he
just
told
good
me,
friends
he
from
wanted me
that.
to ask you to quit sending him dick pics, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Well, he likes them usually. He just, I'm not sure why he asked not to get them. But as far as game wise, it probably was when Hove was doing some trials carries, and we weren't doing carries. We did a whole I don't remember what we called it, but we basically were just doing trial stuff, and most of the time we lost. And he was raffling
Probably
off
trial
stuff.
scaries.
Yeah, well, I don't remember. We
That's
called
what
him something
No,
else.
that's what we called it. We just lost anyway.
Right. But one of the people that won was Unsaid Lambie. And
Oh, yeah.
we didn't know who he was at all. And we get in the game, and he's just...
Nobody knew.
Right, he's wrecking everybody.
You didn't know who Lambie was?
No, this was before anybody knew who he was. This is before he was, like, in
really?
any of the things. Like,
Mhm.
nobody knew who he was.
Oh, okay.
And Hove, like, looks him up on Destiny Tracker, and he's, like, sends me a private message and is like, dude, this dude's KD is, like, 3.8. Like, what the fuck?
It was my first ever actual raffle, like when I had a bot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's the one that won it.
And like,
just,
yeah, he's
like,
in chat.
everybody. It was amazing.
And I'm like, oh, we're like, oh, is it Lammy or Lambie? And he's, just super nice.
Yeah,
He's like, oh,
no,
yeah,
no
I'm
clue.
16 and this and that. And we're like, all right, he was like, yeah,
Every
I just
shot,
want to play.
headshot with a sniper, just it was insane. And we're both like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, and then fast forward a month and,
Yeah, then everybody knew who he was. Right. Like, well, a month later, everybody knew who he was, and he became a fixture of a lot of the gaming things. But I mean, I still every now and then see him on, but not often. I don't think he plays much anymore.
I forget who I did a raffle with, but he won a raffle out of the blue too, and it was one of the easiest trials. Like, cards.
Yeah, Hope and I were dead the entire time. He was just 1v3ing everybody.
I was like, all right,
insane.
first successful trials help. Perfect.
Right. And we're like, come Rezocast. He's like, I got this. I'm good. We're like, yeah, well, clearly.
I love those. Like, I'd be doing like a double raffle, and it just so happens like that card I run into Hovey. Like, and it's just like, but my teammates are really good too, but they're both raffles. So I brag. I'm like, I'm doing double. Karen, what are you doing? It's like, oh, these guys with me are also really freaking good. At, but still, like, we beat you, dude.
That was like the 1 week. I don't know that I've ever won. No, I won that raffle with you, Lego, for TV's chat one time. But other than
with
that,
Triton too, right? It was all 3 of them.
Triton was in chat, but I don't think he won the raffle. He wasn't able to play. But the one time I just happened to stop in Hovey's chat, and I had like an hour, and Hovey was doing raffles with Lumi. So I was like, oh, what the hell, I did the raffle. And I won. And that was the easiest Trials card of all time. Like, we got done, it was like, oh, that was 7? Because, boons. Like, all right, cool, thanks, see you later. Like, nobody, like, had to make call-outs. It was gross. I mean, mostly because both of them are disgusting, but I was competent enough to not have to, like, be rezzed every 30 seconds is what really happened.
Right.
But
It's awesome. I love these.
all right, next question. Shocker, it's from Kelly. Do you have Destiny clothing, and do people recognize it when you are out and about?
I like this question. I'm curious for you guys. I know Triton has.
Yeah, I can go
something
first.
in-
Yeah, I've
Questions
a
are
couple
really good.
people at GameStop that when I wear the Resolute shirt. One of the workers is like a big fan of Rezocast. He'd already listened to us. He knew most of Hovey and TV and stuff, but then he got to
And Mana.
Mana. So he basically knew all the people like not me. So, but he was real cool about it, and I think I've worn like the Rezocast or the Resolute shirt at a couple like the pre-release or not pre-release, but like the release events that they have at midnight, and like every now and then someone will say something. So a couple times, not a ton, but I think like once or twice.
Anybody else?
I own an Iron Banana shirt. It actually says Iron Banana.
Yes.
And out of all the other, I think I own like 4 other Destiny shirts. And out of all of them, I think someone actually called out me being a Destiny fan with that one in it. Like obvious Destiny shirts, like the symbol or like a ghost on it, something blatantly Destiny. And then one just has like a couple, the Iron Banner, like wolf stuff. And then like it just says Iron Banana. And they're like, oh, you're Iron Banner. I think it was at a party. Someone was just like, oh, you play Destiny. I'm like, what? I'm like, can you just make that up?
Who I am?
Oh yeah, at first
Was it like
he's
the pizza girl or something?
No, that was something else. That I forget what shirt I was wearing. She's like, I dig it, and
It was
she
your
didn't
shirt.
actually
It was the
know.
Manigator shirt.
Oh, it was my shirt. And she's like, oh, I like your shirt. And I
So wait,
looked
you
down,
wear
and I'm
your
wearing the
own
Manigator.
shirt? So you're like
I
wearing
own
the
a couple
concert
of
shirt?
them around. But she's like, oh, I like your shirt. And I was like, the Manigator. I'm like, oh, really? You know who he is? And she just kind of ignored that, and like she took my tip and just went away. I'm just like,
Did
I'm
you
just,
give
like,
her?
standing there.
Did you
I
give
was-
her anything else, or just the tip?
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Anyways, I literally was just standing there, just like that was me. That I'm the
okay.
Manigator. I said it was a nice shirt.
Wink, wink.
He's just left me wondering. I'm like there in the hallway of my, apartment. I'm just like,
And then the
Fuck.
phone rang, and it was Gunga, and you jumped and ran and answered the phone.
she hit the button.
Did you at least,
my
like-
collar tased me?
Do you at least tip her with some like gator gear or something?
Gator gear? What? What is that?
And the corner.
All right, now you guys go. Move it on.
I have only had it happen. Well, actually, no. A couple times I've had a death on. Kelly and I were at a Comic Con, and like I had a Future War Cult shirt on. Somebody instantly recognized that.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
I had my Resolute shirt on when I was out in Kansas City the one time, and I was at a store buying a backpack or something. I don't remember what the hell I was buying. And some dude said, "Oh, Resolute," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you play Destiny?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, they're a great clan." I said, "Yeah, I'm in it." He's like, "Yeah, okay, sure you are." Like completely blew off the fact that I actually was. I was like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna walk away,"
Yeah, I haven't had anybody say anything to me yet.
No, I have
So-
stuff, but I don't think anyone's ever nothing that like stuck out. I'm gonna take one from chat real quick to break up
Yes.
the Kelly questions because there's about 17 more.
I think there's only 2 more.
JLH for everyone. He says, if Trials was still active at D1, would you go back and play it?
No, I uninstalled Destiny 1.
I probably would at least once.
I probably would, just to try it.
For the craps and giggles,
Yeah.
old time's sake, I would definitely go back.
I don't know if I would have done it yet, but I think like at this point I might do it just for fun. Just the same way we might talk about doing a private match and doing the Fusion No LAN challenge again, because that is just so much fun.
Oh yeah, we're doing it soon. Wilson, where are you?
Private matches, Fusion only. I'm down with
Yo,
that.
hit me up. Hit me up
Yeah.
sometime. I'll jump in.
Yes.
We can't get men to play Destiny 2, but
But Destiny 1.
But
Just tell me, man.
Yeah, Windler's right. He said you can play Trials still. You still can play Trials in D1.
Wait, what?
I think you
No,
can play
it's not
Elimination, but
I thought it
Trials
was.
isn't active.
Oh no, you can do
Read his
Elimination.
second-
That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elimination.
You can do that.
Yeah,
It's called
Winnie.
private matches.
Good one.
Nice, Windler.
Your turn, Rally.
Fake news.
My turn. I did for what?
Did you say you would go back and play or no?
Oh yeah, I said I
No.
would.
Yeah, you said it would.
I probably just wasn't listening.
Yeah, I would go back and play.
Ooh,
Why
here's
not?
another one from JLH. What about going back to play Titan Bowl? Yes.
Yeah, that was really fun. I'm still trying to think of a way to do it in D2.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not
there's,
possible.
There's got to be some patch that comes out that lets you do something to let it work.
Yeah, it's
you know?
called the Titan Bowl patch, and you dreamt it.
Yeah, I guess so. Do y'all think that they'll bring back the dunk, the
Rift.
rift?
I don't know. I don't.
Maybe.
I mean,
No, I
Now
think
that
it's
they're bringing
gonna
back
be-
sixes.
I think it's just gonna be Control and Clash.
It's Supremacy.
Oh,
I hope they
gosh.
switch up Supremacy and it becomes an actual like capture the flag.
I would
Yeah,
like
type
rotating
deal.
options.
That'd be great.
At least I know that before it got too spread out, and the PvP was too separated, and it was you were having a hard time getting matchmaking, and you had a lot of empty games and whatever. I just still would like to have like the option to choose which game mode you're playing, and for it to rotate again. I actually didn't mind that.
I actually ran about this a lot. Is like they missed an opportunity, like early D2 lifespan, where everyone was playing, where the player pool was bigger. That's when they should have started with multiple game modes.
Agree.
It's like that was their one point where they should have. It's just I ran about it all the time. They missed out on a really good opportunity.
I'm with you, man.
All right, next question from Kelly. If you're mad about the current state of Destiny, did you or will you burn your T-shirts like football fans burn jerseys?
Some people might.
I burned my couch, actually.
You heard what?
My couch.
Your couch.
Mm-hmm.
Did you throw it out the window
Yes.
of your second floor?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I threw a
The
bike.
state?
I threw a bike off the third floor balcony once.
I threw a
Not
baby
here.
carriage out of a window.
okay, a carriage. Oh,
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Oh, Rally, hurry up with that second sentence.
I was
Wait, what?
15.
What did he do? I wasn't listening.
I threw
Threw
a
a baby.
carriage.
window.
out of a
Carriage.
window. But I was in Germany of all places too.
Well, there wasn't a baby in it, so it's fine.
No, there wasn't a baby in it. We actually got
check?
kicked out of a hotel when I was in Germany when I was 15 years old. I'm kind of proud of it, but not at the same
we
time.
should probably drop that one. Who would win in a fight? Jack in the Box or Tim Horton?
Tim.
Matt Grundy's question.
Oh yeah, that's Matt Grundy. I'm sorry.
Shake Shack would take both of them down. Sorry,
Shake Shack doesn't have a mascot.
they don't. They could just throw a burger at them. I don't
No, the
care.
question is Jack or Tim?
Oh, all right.
Tim.
I don't know. I don't really.
Jack. He's
I-
creepy. He's like a clown killer.
Yeah, Jack
He's a
seems
little
like
creepy.
indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those super villains
Yeah,
that
didn't he
doesn't
die in one of those commercials and then come back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
You
fine.
can't kill
I don't
him.
think I've ever seen any of those.
There were some commercials a couple years ago that were real weird.
They were. So I do remember
Yes.
those actually. I don't think I've seen Tim Horton ones because I don't think there's any near me. So
I haven't been to either of them, and I don't know who either of those guys look
don't-
like. So
you're missing
I-
out on much. So
really
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
Just
Well, you
shaking
got
my
anything
head at
else for
Mana.
us, Hove? Or we?
Yeah, I was just shaking my head at Mana.
Just laser beaming me with his eyes right now.
One more.
maybe like one more.
I just said that.
I didn't hear it.
You wanna take over?
Now you're getting
I'm
laser
just
beamed.
kidding.
I am getting laser beamed.
Matt Grundy, again. Do you think Eric Hirschberg's departure will affect the Bungie studio? I don't. I mean, not directly and not anytime soon. I feel like any kind of contracts they have are already done.
Yeah, feel the same way.
I got two thoughts. It depends on the type of CEO he was. Is he the CEO that's more worried about the bottom line dollars, are the almighty kind of thing, where I've seen, be the case for the majority of CEOs, or is he the type that was a little more invested in it and a little more invested in the people and the things that are going on around it. So I guess it'll be remain to be seen. But based on what we see, I'd say he's more of the bottom line money type of person. So
I just don't see, Bungie isn't Activision. They're their publisher, but I don't see that having a direct effect, at least not in the foreseeable future. That's all.
Yeah. That's funny. I was just Googling him, and one of the first things that comes up is in August 2017 is Eric Hirschberg, our Lord and Savior, under Destiny. I don't know what it's about, but I just found that ironic since he's leaving.
Trite, this seems like your kind of question.
Well, I think if the middle management is strong and there's good direction among like the different groups and they have good communication, then it probably won't really be a huge impact to them. I mean, I think the difference between strategy and execution may show a little bit. I think sometimes top down will be like their strategy, so we'll see what they do going forward. But in terms of the execution and maybe what we'll experience just within the game, that's probably most likely in place.
That was same.
Yeah.
What Triton said.
That was really good. I like it. Same. Ditto.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well,
I'm done.
All right. One more from Chad. What Nava asked.
As an older gamer, how much do you enjoy defeating younger players in multiplayer games, Rally? I answered for you. I said if that question's for Rally, he's never actually beaten a younger player. If you'd like to make up an answer, feel free.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I beat younger people at lots of stuff in life, so I'm good.
I say the best is when you beat them and you go back through Guardian Theater, especially in D1 Trials, and you watch their little kid freaking out all these profanities. I'm just like,
I do wish Guardian Theater existed longer than it has currently, because there were a couple times, even like Hove and I, when we played together, we didn't take it serious ever when we played together. We just shit around. And there were a couple times where we beat really good teams, and we were always like, holy shit, I can't believe we actually won that. And it would have been great to see the reactions to that from Guardian Theater.
Have y'all ever been on a Guardian Theater, like watching back, and instead of it just being like rage that the people lost, they're like, oh, those guys played pretty good. Yeah, that was a good game.
Not often. But yeah.
No, yeah, not often. I've had it one or two times, but I haven't looked at Guardian Theater forever because I don't play PvP now.
My favorite was the guy who, as the game was starting, like I don't even think we'd had nobody died yet. He said I was a KJ Hovey and Soldier 76 wannabe who had Down syndrome.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just throw everything in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was like, oh, this guy thinks he's in Resolute. He thinks he's KJ Hovey, and he mains Soldier 76. I bet he has Down syndrome. And I was like, what?
What?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
So weird.
Yeah.
I get compared against Toby all the time in Guardian Theater when someone's
Really?
like they'd be like, oh,
I mean,
the
you guys are like
Manigator,
twins.
he plays with KJ Hovey, but he's not as good as Hovey. And I'm just like,
Oh.
See,
then
I beg
then I
to
beat
differ
him.
on that, man, because I think depending on whether you're on or not, there's times when I've played with both you and Hovey, and you were pretty much kicking Hovey's ass, and then vice versa, depending on the game and how how you were feeling that day. But
I just want to say that in D1 Trials of Osiris, that my win to lose against Hovey, I am beating his ass. Okay,
you have to
But-
pull the microphone closer for that.
but if you actually look at the stats, he's winning because I backed out for him almost all the time.
Oh.
That's the
Mhm.
creepiest look I've ever seen.
That was really creepy.
I think it was supposed to be like badass,
Yeah, look
but
at Drift.
it was really weird. I'm kind
You
of
could like hear
uncomfortable.
his breath as he backed
Went
up.
for both of that.
It's the sex look.
That'd have been great if that's when Mano knocked over the dishes, like as he was backing up. That'd have been fantastic.
I forgot my cup of soup was right behind me, and I totally elbowed it. I just saw it just go like up and down. I'm like, okay, we're good.
Hey, Triton, I want to know why
we're
you have
safe.
Olympic
Good,
medals
good.
behind you. Just want to know that.
What's that?
You have
We've-
Olympic medals.
We've
hanging
talked
behind you?
about this before, Rally. You're apparently a terrible clanmate and friend.
Yeah, I think we've
Well,
done all
clearly.
this, everybody's scenery, except for Legos that changes every week, a different angle of that one room.
I don't have scenery.
That's true.
Yeah, not anymore.
2 rooms.
The clowns.
2 rooms.
Yeah, the
turn.
creepy ass clowns.
What's mana got back here? What is that?
Middle Earth map.
I tried to make my blank wall a little bit better by placing that.
You hung something. That's amazing.
But no,
Well.
Gunga bought it for me. Gunga bought me a poster
Oh,
of the Middle
nice.
Earth, like all of Middle Earth. So
What a nice-
I love it.
What a nice.
I have
girlfriend.
like 17 more posters in my room. I'm just too lazy to put them up on the wall. But yeah.
Well, now that you've heard about our home decor, thank you for joining us for Rezocast episode 69.
Episode what?
This has been Lego. I'm not gonna repeat
Can you
myself
just say it
anymore
one
for
more
home.
time?
No, this has been.
Can
Lego,
we tell
aka
everyone
Lego Leaf
one more
Flash.
thing? Can we tell everyone what's coming in 8 weeks? 7 weeks?
A baby?
7 weeks.
A baby.
No, I mean probably somewhere. 7 weeks from now.
You can tell them because I know what you're gonna say. but I
Dongcast
just don't.
76.
Apparently, something is that's gonna
Sponsored
be a
by
thing.
Blue
I don't know.
Mics and Headphones.
Well,
Eventually bagadix.com.
this has been Lego, aka Lego Leaf Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find you?
Obviously, you're here on Twitch. I've been getting back into stream a little bit, doing a little Destiny and Overwatch. Twitch.tv/Hove76. Talk to me on Twitter at Hove76, and watch old, terrible YouTube videos that are outdated on my YouTube. That is also Hove76. Triton.
You could find me in all the same places, mainly Twitter. I started streaming again a little bit more on Twitch. I have been posting a lot more on YouTube, and I really appreciate the people that aren't using my new videos as a reminder to unsubscribe. So thank you, people, for because for a while, every time I post one, I'd like lose. It was like a reminder, like, oh man, subscribe. So thank you for the people who aren't currently doing that. I appreciate that on YouTube. And yeah, but I'll mainly be on Twitter and Twitch sometimes. How about you, Mana?
Sound like you're about to break down the tears.
No, I was like, I can't say it without laughing because it would happen. And I'd be like, oh man, I think I just reminded people like to unsub. But no one's done that recently, so thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you can find me on mainly Twitter, Twitch at the Manigator, always on Twitch at the Manigator. And I'm actually slowly getting highlights, like clips from Twitch. I'm going to start posting on YouTube again,
Fortnite
eventually at the Manigator. Mostly Fortnite right now. People might actually start doing what Triton was just laughing about. Like,
Oh, I did.
wasn't he a washed up Destiny player?
I unsubbed.
But yes, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow me at the Manigator. How about you, Rally?
You cannot find me on Twitch because I don't stream ever unless Hove's actually in my house, it seems. And
It's not Destiny.
Weird.
right, which is really weird. I agree. And find me on
But
Twitter
true.
at DRES74.
Nice.
Pretty
Well,
much it.
you can also
Can't find me anywhere
Rezo-
else unless you're in Philly.
In the nursing home.
You can also find Rezocast at Rezocast on Twitter. You can find Team Resolute at teamresolute.com or at Team Resolute on Twitter. And yeah, feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or comment on YouTube if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, guys, GG.
GG's.